Hello and welcome back to Desmin's Creek, our 5th edition live play that meets Tuesday nights.
Wednesday night.
You're funny.
Oh no! Whatever you're doing, stop! Okay. That I could not have predicted. Sorry about that. Apparently, I had the, stream open on one of my tabs, and it was not muted, so I started hearing myself coming through, and I became very confused. Tuesday nights. Last time we met, the party had some well-earned downtime after some interesting missions given them by the leader of the Syndicate, the Tiger's Eye. This downtime, the players described some of their day-to-day activities, the things that give them joy outside of being part of the Syndicate and making their living by doing these mostly savory jobs, sometimes less than savory. But it culminated, importantly, in a dinner party, where the A-team here all got together on the surface, so we got to have a few minutes of description of the state of the city, its ringed walls, as some of the party members made their way from the underground over to the residential home of the Cubbies, which was on the top floor of a high-rise building in the old city, the inner city, and where they got to sit down to a home-cooked meal prepared by Reggie's own wife, Joy, with his help, as they simply talked about life, talked topically about work, and enjoyed one another's company. It was cozy, unexpectedly so, perhaps for some, but it really gave us some good looks at the interpersonal interactions of these people who we've thus far only seen as, hardened criminals, getting the job done in the dangerous underground. That will have been 2 days ago, as we will be rejoining the party back in the underground, back in the Syndicate headquarters, before the Tiger's Eye herself, as she had informed them that they would have an important mission. So we arrive at its start. As you all file into her office and assemble on the opposite side of her desk, she is, as usual, going over documents, ledgers, and other paraphernalia related to running the Syndicate. She will eventually set a page aside and look over the lot of you. I assume that you are all well rested and uninjured, but perhaps I am wrong. Maybe some of you, I don't know, fight gladiatorily in your downtime and came here from there.
I wish.
But assuming that is not the case, then you are here, you are well rested, and you are ready for your next assignment. Which, as she sets a page aside, you will note that while the Tiger's Eye always dresses well, she always looks very clean, very, like, she puts a lot of thought into her outfit and how it's put together. The fact that it is always seemingly landing on both sides of the coin between practical and elegant. Something that you could fight in without too much trouble, but still has those drapey bits that gives you that air of, I don't need to fight. She is going to look up at you. I think perhaps the most notable thing would be that she's wearing her going out eye patch. which has gems encrusted onto it in tasteful locations. It's not one big bedazzled chunk of leather, but it is very expensive looking.
So did I finish my making the jewelry and stuff during the time and sell it?
Yes, that does make sense that would have happened. And indeed, you had discussed setting something aside to give to her.
Mm-hmm.
Have you decided what form you want that to take?
Well, we wanted it to be like the tiger's eye, right? The town. I don't. What do other people think? Does anybody else have any idea what would be good? Should it be a necklace, a bracelet?
My vote had been to make it something for her cat.
All right.
But that's just me.
Like a collar?
Yeah, collar, something like that.
Collar accessory, harness.
Yeah, because cats love wearing those.
Oh yeah.
Cat size
Maybe the
eye
new to
patch.
prove that.
I don't think the cat has much say in the matter.
I think a cat-sized eye patch would be funny.
With cat's eye quartz at the center of it, so there's still an eye-looking marking there.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Suffice to say that you were able to do up the rest of it, and the drow had given you roughly 500 gold pieces. They had given you 500 gold pieces, and they had given you an extra roughly 200 gold pieces worth of good gems, which, with your skill in both crafting and selling, or finding somebody who can sell it for you, you would be able to sell at a markup. So, I mean, I can roll that. You can roll something for me. We can determine that here. We can determine it later.
I'm willing to roll.
Okay. What skill do you use for crafting?
I imagine it's just proficiency, right? Because I'm proficient in jeweler's tools, so it would just be like roll plus proficiency bonus, right?
Okay. So, proficiency, let's say dexterity, or intelligence.
Yes, I will definitely be doing intelligence.
I figured.
So just roll once.
Let's start with one. Let's start with one. See what you do.
So that's 21.
21. All right. So you definitely feel very good about what you've crafted. You take the gems and jewels and different bits of semi-precious stone that the drow gave you. You've got the tools to shape them, to shape metal and other materials, to set them. And you create a bunch of rings, necklaces, bracelets, these kinds of brooches, and brooches are a really good one because they're really easy. Small. You create a bunch of these things. And so, if one of you feels like you want to be hawking these things, you could roll that, or, like, selling these types of things is something the Syndicate specializes in, so you'd probably just be able to provide them to one of your merchandise movers, and they'd be able to give you, some amount of money less, like their finder's fee, to move it for you.
Fine with me.
I put that to the party at large, because maybe one of them wants to have their character be the one who moves it.
Up to them.
Reggie is content to have the people at the Syndicate do it. He doesn't want to do it himself.
I'm content to have them do it so long as their cut doesn't make us get less out of the stuff and whatever we just tried to sell the gems ourselves. Like, because, still.
Especially after, the work that Vulcan has done, you would never get less than the value of the gems as they were given to you. His craftsmanship is extremely good, but that also will imply that he's using expensive materials. So these little rolls I'll do will determine what they sell it for and what it cost to make.
Fine by me, then.
Okay, so if nobody feels strongly about moving these things themselves, then the party will simply allow one of the fences, effectively, inside the Syndicate, get these things sold and give you your percentage, as it were. I'm just gonna roll a couple of dice over here. Try to do that kind of quickly. Let's see here. Alrighty. All right. So. Between what the materials were initially worth, what value was added by the work done, and the material added, and then what your fence could sell it for, less their fee, less the cost of materials Vulcan used. You, as a group, you can divide it up however you want, are looking at a profit. The profit is 970 gold pieces.
Ooh.
Nice.
It'll take forever to get plate armor.
I mean, you did all the work. You could always argue that you get to keep it all.
Well, perhaps not all. More than the rest
Work
of us,
against.
probably.
I'm not here.
How should we split this up?
I'd be game for us splitting it 100 to each of us and let Vulcan take the rest.
I would give Vulcan about 370, right?
Somewhere in there.
Okay, I'm good with that. Anybody else?
I'm happy with that if Vulcan's happy with that.
Okay. If there are no objections to that split, then everyone may add 100 gold pieces to their character sheets for spending money.
I do have one question.
Mhm.
Was there any base pay for that job?
Yes. Yes, there would be base pay for that job. The Syndicate was paid 500, as is well documented by Desmin. Out of that, you all are allowed to split up 350.
If my math is right, that's 50 apiece.
Just these, right?
Yeah. Try to keep it easy.
Only
Much
530 more.
It did hilariously end up being the same pay as the first job, which I'd hoped it would be higher than that, but I didn't math fast enough. Alright, so, with the pay figured out, the item that you have made for her, would you be presenting now?
Seems most likely.
Or would this have found its way to her prior to now? I mean, it's up to you if you want to have that interaction or not.
I'm fine with giving it to her now.
Okay. Then she does finally address you over the ledgers and papers she's going over and says, "Ah, my A-team. So, it is finally time. Are you ready for your mission with me?"
When would we not be ready for an assignment?
Oh. You are my A-team because you are always ready for assignment. This one is different because I will be going with you.
Intriguing.
I don't think you will find it so
to
intriguing.
work with you, boss.
As you know, Desmin, flattery gets everyone everywhere.
He nods and kind of does a slight little head bow.
But unfortunately, this one is not exactly my favorite kind of mission to attend to. But you will all be going with me. You will provide escort, and you will be part of a conversation that needs to happen. Your jobs are, as ever, to do as you are told. Probably you should exercise your ability to remain silent until you are directly addressed. And, as best you can, represent the Syndicate as you would want people of the highest echelon of any place in this world to view us.
Then I'll leave the firearms at home.
I do not
Could
think...
I disguise myself?
Should you disguise yourself? No. I believe that for this particular conversation, we want to be as upfront as we can. Disguises should not be necessary. The weapons should be allowed to travel with you, but you will need to use discretion in their discharge. More so than usual. Am I understood?
Understood.
Crystal clear.
Very good. Now, I have already been in contact with the leaders of the other gangs, and they imagine that we should not have too much trouble between here and where we are going. But you are to look tough nonetheless, as though we are expecting trouble. I imagine you're all good with that.
Yes.
Good. I think that covers everything we need to go over before we get there. So, She strides around the desk, petting the cat a few times as she comes to stand before you, and says, "Is there anything left that you have to tell me or ask before we go? You all went to the bathroom first, yes?"
Vulcan will pull out the what did we decide? Something for the cat?
My vote is a cat-sized eye patch.
Okay. Absent anybody else's suggestion, it's a cat-sized eye patch.
Woo!
Vulcan doesn't know her. He did what he was told.
He did what he was told. So you, with a whirring of the mechanisms that drive your mechanical body, you're going to straighten up and extend a hand containing the cat-sized eye patch. And she is, coming around the desk to stand before you to say, "All right, let's move." When she is stopped by this motion, and she looks over, and she meets your eyes before looking down into your palm, and then her eyes come back up to yours, and she says, "Vulcan, what is this?"
I made jewelry out of the bonus that we got.
And you're giving
As
it to
per-
me.
It was suggested that it would be a good idea to put some aside for you.
Yes, we are giving it to you as a group.
She's going to look over the rest of the group, and there's, she's like barely suppressing this little proud smile, where she says, "Well, that is lovely, and someone has definitely taught you properly how to suck up to me. But I fear this will not fit my particular face."
It is for the cat.
She's going to look a little surprised, and she's going to look back at the desk where her little gray cat is stretching and rolling over on the book she has open, clearly crinkling the page in a very distressing way. Completely.
I am wincing as you're describing that.
Well, some people dog-ear the pages of their books. This one cat-ears them.
It was Twilight's suggestion.
She's going to look back and say, "An eye patch for Winston? Well, I'm not sure that he will appreciate it as much as I do, but let me assure you, I do." And she is going to reach
And
out
that
both.
is why it's a gift for you.
And she's going to take it, from your hand, somewhat gingerly, like she's not snatching it, but accepting it from you. And then she's going to turn back to the table, and you're going to kind of see her almost like creep up to it, as the cat continues to stretch and settle into a position, eyes closed. This thing's basically asleep. And she's going to reach out and rub the belly a little, and the cat's gonna curl its paws and do a little meow. And then she's going to very quickly just try and pull this eye patch over its head, which causes an absolute ruckus. Winston does not appreciate this at all. And she spends she spends a whole 2 minutes wrestling with this cat, utterly destroying the top pages of this book, before finally she's got at one point she's got Winston tucked under her arm, and she's just pulling the eye patch over its face. Sets him back down. He immediately tries to get it off, but fails to do so. And he just flops over on the desk looking absolutely miserable. She goes, "Adorable. I love it." Worry not, he'll get used to it. Now then, shall we be on our way?
If you don't object, I would like to still drop off my firearms either way. I don't particularly need them if we're going to be in more polite company.
Polite
I'd rather
is the
not run
word
risk.
for it, Twilight. Very well. I don't recommend you come completely unarmed, but if firearms are not what you wish to bring, then do deposit whatever you don't wish. And if you have stains or scuffs to your clothing, maybe see to them before we depart.
I'll make it quick.
I think Reggie looks down at his clothes. Reggie doesn't have anything, like, nice. It's all, like, solid, but well-loved. So, like, patches frequently and things like that. And he's like,
Always a challenge.
Some of us were trapped.
Can I get them out? Oh, two left. Nope, still two left. The others are on the upper floor now. It's too late. There we go. That worked well enough. Why is the Zoom not working?
So, Twilight will be leaving her two Derringers at home.
Okay.
I don't need them, they're more in case of emergency weapons, but these seem more likely to cause the emergency than prevent one.
That is always possible. Okay, I have learned a better way of doing things now. Boom. Huzzah. Very well. Alright, now for the less cool part. Just switch boards here. Huh?
Oh, no, well, you're switching, so it doesn't matter. But I'm inside Vulcan.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fine. I'm gonna have to pull new tokens anyway. Alright, so the players may recognize this place, but you are going to be making your way through the tunnels, following the Tiger's Eye's directions. All of you are familiar enough with the tunnels that after a while it becomes more and more clear where you're going, just because at the beginning you could be going anywhere, and then as you progress, fewer and fewer places are logical to be trying to get to. But you all do eventually realize that she is taking you down the underground tunnel pathways that will lead you directly under Lightstone Keep, the seat of power here in the city of Volinar, from where all of Bromdor is ruled by Claire Evenhand. It is not a common place to travel to. It is not untraveled. There are people who have business in that area. There are certain types of business that take place in that area. It's usually more Navy, military-oriented things happening there, even in the underground, since it has more direct access to the harbor, to the Navy. Sorry, what was that, Elisa?
Oh, no, that was like in character. Are you sure we're going the right way?
I assure you, she says, I would not be taking us down these pathways unless I very much intended for it. So let me pull out all the tokens again. Because there is sadly not a more efficient way of doing this.
I think fairly early on in the route to get here, Reggie, like, just sort of, like, deflates when he realizes it.
Wait a minute. Are we going to... Oh, no.
And then, like, there's a moment getting even closer that he appears hopeful, and then, like, very quickly it goes back to being sad about it, because he knows that he's not allowed to do what he wants to do here, and with her right there, he's very much not allowed to do it. Mm-hmm. So there's that moment of, like, wait a minute, and then just, it's dashed.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm
very conflicted.
Set you guys up in standard box formation around your charge. But you can all take command of where in the box you'd like to be. Alright, so you eventually come to this place. what you know about this, especially this specific location, is that there's only a couple types of meetings that happen here, and almost all of them involve city officials, and almost all of them are even more secretive than your bread and butter secret missions, because they involve members of the or leaders generally of the different clans dealing directly with the people who would police them, who would police you. Now, I will remind everyone that the presence of the City Watch in the underground is extremely light. There are a lot of agreements between the people in the underground and the people on the surface, but most especially the leaders of the gangs and the governance of the city that keeps them out, that says trouble in the underground is the problem of the underground, and the upper city should stay out of it. And vice versa, of course. Don't cause trouble on the surface, and we won't bring trouble underground. This is a well-known one to all. So, if she's brought you here, requires an escort, and wants you on your best behavior, you can be fairly certain that she's bringing you to meet with someone official to the city. So, I will give you all one last chance to say anything, ask any questions or say anything off-color to your boss or around your boss before you're in mixed company, and it would be ill-advised.
I certain it is wise to bring us here.
The tiger's eye is going to look very thoughtful as she considers this question before she says, I do not find it is often wise to involve anyone under my charge with this type of meeting, and I avoid it as often as I can. Unfortunately, circumstances have, as they say, forced my hand.
Not happen to be related to our mishap the other day.
Whatever would give you that impression?
I'm just trying to avoid the gallows.
That is what the purpose of this meeting is, which is why I need you on your best behavior, and if there isn't something very meaningful you can contribute, I would ask that you not contribute. Not right away. I am certain that there will be a point where you will be asked, and I would like you to answer any questions that this person has very concisely, and with the best grammar that you can muster.
Don't ask.
I realize, but I won't hold it against you as long as no one dies.
Are you sure I shouldn't disguise myself? I am a legal tech.
Yes.
My presence.
I know.
Okay.
I suppose I will tell you this now, and this is for all of you. Our modus operandi in the underground is that whatever the situation, when someone comes asking questions about it, we deny everything, and we move on as quickly as possible to make them do the work of chasing answers down, making those answers as hard to get as possible. Everyone knows this is how we operate, and this is the best course in most situations. But I will tell you right now that in this particular situation, it will not be our strategy. Here, for this conversation, and this conversation alone, as far as I am telling you right now, we require honesty. It is the only way that we are going to be able to continue having the relationship that we have with the upper city. And I think that you can all agree we would like to try to maintain the relationship that we have with the upper city. She's going to look around at you looking for nodding heads.
Al would nod.
Nodding.
Of course, yes. Desmin nods.
Right.
Reggie nods reluctantly.
Reluctantly.
time is going to pass. Time is going to pass, and you're going to take note of time passing because the tiger's eye is going to seem antsy. Like she did not expect to be waiting. She has a bit of a nervous fidget. She tends to clasp her wrists in front, lean her weight to one side, look around, sigh, lean her weight to the other side, move her hands behind her back and clasp her wrists again, as though she really wants to be doing something with her hands, but she can't right now. No pencil or something, some sort of tactile fixation that she isn't getting to feed. After about 15 minutes of the tiger's eye seeming more and more anxious about the time that is passing, you are all going to hear a whoosh and warble that is very characteristic of some kind of spell, its effect occurring nearby.
I'd look to the tiger's eye to see if this seems to be something she's expecting, or if this is more of an alarm.
Yes, you look to the tiger's eye, and you're going to see that immediately she looks relieved. Hearing this sound has actually set her anxiety aside, and she straightens up. You see that she quickly checks her clothing, and she exhales a short sigh of, okay, good. And you're going to, very soon after that sound of magic, begin to hear the echo of footsteps heading towards you. The clicking of solid, perhaps wooden heels against the stones that is echoing around this very nearly fully enclosed chamber. Oh, hold on. I did miss a thing. Damn it. Okay. I missed a step here, and for that I apologize. Let me take one step back. You are in what is, as far as you can tell, a fully enclosed chamber. No doors in or out. There are these pathways around the edge that get to the outer walls, but there don't appear to be any tunnels beyond that. And to get in here, you had to go to the lower tunnels, and there was a place where the tiger's eye stepped up to a fixture on the wall, asked for a moment of privacy, and then spoke words to this fixture very quietly, which opened a magic portal to this place. That is how you came to be here. That is a step that I should have mentioned, and it totally slipped my mind, and I apologize for that. So you are in a place that, as far as you know, the only way out is to have the words to open that portal. There may even be more to it than that. But there is no direct tunnel connection here. It's a very good trap, should somebody have some way of turning off that portal. And that should make no one comfortable.
How delightful.
Indeed. You cannot tell, because of the shape of the place, exactly where the footsteps are coming from, but as they get closer, they become louder from one direction, and a woman, alone, rounds a corner and into the magical torchlight of this central area. She looks very regal by aspect. She is wearing extremely clean, long, baby blue dress with dark blue and light purple accents. She has a well-coiffed head. Long blonde hair is put in several complicated braids and wrapped around her head. In the light of the illumination here, which appears like torches, but you don't feel warmth. There's nothing burning the air out of this enclosed space. So you imagine that while they look natural, they are probably magical. You see the glimmer of her blue eyes, and the many, many stones on metal bands on her fingers as she approaches. And you're going to see that the tiger's eye straightens up and looks very formally as this woman approaches, as she strides over and stops about 10 feet away, and looking past the guard formation you have around the tiger's eye, she's going to say in a surprisingly soft and friendly voice, "Estelle, darling, it's been so long. I'm so happy you could join me here today." The tiger's eye is going to gesture that whomever is separating her from this woman stand aside, and she's going to step forward, and they are going to clasp hands in a very familiar greeting, as she's going to say, "Well, unfortunately, Claire, I cannot afford to get out much these days. There is a lot of work to do down here, as I am certain you have become unfortunately aware."
I think when she says Claire, I'm rolling a deception check to not, like, choke.
All right, roll it.
And so my eyes just, like, bug out a bit. That is a 21, because I rolled a 10.
Okay.
So, decent, but we should probably catch something like, oh.
You barely catch it, but no one notices. I don't think that she would even... Yeah,
But,
she got like a
Morgan isn't even
15.
looking at her. Morgan isn't even looking in her direction. She's making sure that there's no one going to ambush them. So she's just looking at all of the pathways.
Yeah. Most
Just
notable.
doing her guard job.
Exactly. You can roll me some active perception.
I think Al would as well.
Go for it.
More so. Hey guys, what's a really important thing about D&D? Dice. Ari forgot her dice. I apologize for interrupting.
It's fine. I got a dirty 20, so let me just see what my perception is. It was 4, so that's a 24 then.
Wait. My dirty
that's
20 would
deception.
mean you
I
already
looked at
put
the
your
wrong thing.
perception on it, so you got a natural 20.
Yeah, I got a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is dirty.
Yes,
I
you
meant
said
natural
dirty.
20.
I was very... I need to check
Oh,
what
it's
the stat is.
23. I looked at deception, not perception.
It's 23.
Plus
All
3.
right. So with the 23, Morrigan, you're looking around. You have opened your senses to try and make sure that this isn't an ambush. Nobody else is coming to attack, especially now that you've got this very important person here, the tiger's eye, and this other person who definitely seems very important. Like, this seems like the perfect place to get ambushed and killed. It is eerily quiet in here. Like,
Non-natural 20, by the way.
yeah. Both of you, with a 20 and a 23, you are aware that this place is void of any other living creature. Which is notable because it means that Claire did not bring an entourage, did not bring an honor guard. She came to meet the Tiger's Eye and whomever the Tiger's Eye brought with her completely alone.
Is she known to be a mage, or did that fact kind of get obfuscated over the years?
It is a lot less well known than it once was. It's less that they're trying to hide that she was a mage, and more that they are trying to encourage that she does not have anything to do with the Mages Guild anymore, because that would look very bad. So, being a mage isn't a condemnation. Lots of people, especially since the Draco War, are proficient in magic now. It's just she can't be seen to be paying any favors to or receiving any undue advice from the Mages Guild, especially through her old connection, Nalia. So I think that people are still aware that she had been a mage. They are also aware that she's a city official at this point and rarely has cause to use magic because now she's got people for that.
Yeah, but it does explain the lack of entourage. In a
It
place
could.
like this, she doesn't need one.
Yes, it could explain that. After their clasping of hands and very, perhaps surprisingly friendly greeting on a first-name basis, Claire is going to take a step back and say, I really must apologize for making you wait. Unfortunately, lunch ran a bit long, but I think you can agree that certain delicacies are worth the wait. And she smiles at Estelle as she says this. The tiger's eye is going to return this smile and say, yes, I do believe that there are many things that are worth the wait. Some things improved by it, some things improved by the anticipation. However, I believe that the content of our discussion is not one of those things. But let me start off by saying you look lovely, Claire. And Claire is going to look over her dress and the baubles on her fingers. She's going to say, you have no idea, Estelle, how hard it is every morning choosing an outfit. Because in my position, you're expected to look royal, like a leader of the people, but at the same time, you can't overdo it, or you will be accused of spending taxpayer money on your own extravagancies. It's a real headache. The tiger's eye is going to laugh a little to herself, and she says, that is luckily not a problem I have to deal with, Claire. As you know, in my line of work, gold is the only language that is spoken, and if you do not speak it loudly enough, no one will listen. I had wanted to segue here. I need to check my note.
Because funny, haha. Ari's first thought when you were describing the dress and all this and that, does it have pockets?
It doesn't have pockets. They aren't immediately noticeable, but if you are looking for them, it does appear to have two.
Excellent! Functional dress!
Claire appears to be practical in her style choices. If not fully functional, she would not be able to sword fight in this outfit. But she is certainly not making herself carry everything she might need to take with her somewhere in her hand. Claire's going to say, I can certainly understand this, and I somewhat envy the simplicity of the choices you make in that regard only. But I suppose exceptional people are always cursed with such responsibilities, such as we. I take it that these around you are also exceptional people who I should acquaint myself with. And she is saying this slowly and raising her eyebrows, as though all of these statements are questions to make sure that is why you are all here and not just the tiger's eye.
Morgan just looks over her shoulder at her, and nothing more. Just standing like with the axe on the, like with the handle of the axe on the ground and holding on top of it, you know, kind of like Gimli in Lord of the Rings. Just leaning on the axe.
Just leaning on the axe. The tiger's eye is going to take a moment to look around at you, you know, turning almost fully away from Claire at one point to look upon each of you, as she slowly says, They are exceptionally good at performing the tasks I set to them. And because of that, they are who I have chosen to represent the Syndicate to you during our discussion today. Claire is going to look around, and she's going to sweep out her dress, making a low curtsy. An unexpected gesture from someone who rules the city before such as you. She's going to say, well, I doubt we will have many opportunities to meet, or I suppose, given the circumstances, I hope we don't have many opportunities to meet, but let me just say that it is no small honor to be called exceptionally good by Estelle, and therefore you have all earned my regard. If you do not know who I am, which, given the separation of our cities, would be somewhat understandable, I am Claire Evenhand, leader of Volinar, and by extension Bromdor.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Al.
I make the appropriate gestures.
And Al would, bow, not curtsy, because, too formal, but, give, a proper, same level of respect that she is giving us as she is introducing herself.
I just nod backwards and say, Morrigan.
Yeah, Desmin will bow as well and say, Desmin, at your service.
Desmin. Cleric of Arathis, yes?
Indeed.
Your name has, she looks to the tiger's eye a moment, with a sly smile before returning her gaze to you, come up in discussions in the past.
Well, I hope that they were all good.
Oh, yes, she says, the smile broadening. Always good, and I will tell you myself that I have a great appreciation for all those who serve Our Lady of Order. Without Arathis, this city would not have survived the war. Or perhaps any war before it.
Yes, she is as much an important part of my life as it seems that she has been for the entire city.
She's simply going to smile at that and continue accepting the introductions of others in the group.
Al would be kind of not smiling like an idiot, but like a proud big sister moment. When Desmond and they are going back and forth.
Should no others wish to roleplay their introduction, I can assume that everybody does at least acknowledge her, if not give a name.
Well,
Reggie just gives his name. It doesn't really he's.
Does he give his full legal name or just Reggie?
No, he just Reggie. There
Reggie.
isn't much of a nod or anything. He doesn't seem particularly happy here. He's good at hiding that, but also he's not.
Yeah, the rest of the party can pick up on
things
that.
that one would expect.
Yeah.
For meeting someone so she probably also picks up on some amount of something.
Mm-hmm. She is good. She has a decent poker face, like, regardless of the type of introduction she gets. Other than with Desmin so far, there hasn't been anything really more than a smile and an acceptance of the intro. Just like, I have met you. You are someone that a person I do actually like interacting with has deemed important for me to know, and we have now met. It is very... I guess I want to say formal. Yeah. Formal. That is until she lays eyes upon Vulcan. At which point you're going to see that poker face slip. Her eyes widen somewhat in surprise as she looks up and down the metal body of this creature, as if realizing for the first time that it is not, in fact, a suit of plate armor concealing a stalwart warrior, but a mechanical body.
I am Vulcan. Vulcan's kind of on edge.
You can see her mouth opens and her lips move as though attempting to form words, but no sounds come for several moments as she focuses on you, her eyes still darting around your features, your face, your shoulders, legs, everything, trying to, like, take it in and make sense of it. And you see that the tiger's eye raises a hand and takes a breath as though she's going to begin explaining something when Claire finally gets a sound out, and she says, Draknir Tech. And
Vulcan will nod.
you nod. As she's going to turn her head quickly away from you back to the tiger's eye, looking questioning. I was going to say quizzical, but it's more imperious than that, so I'm going to say questioning. And the tiger's eye is going to adjust her weight a little uncomfortably. She shuffles from foot to foot a moment before she says, yes, a new acquisition smuggled into the city for me. We are testing it for Mr. Draknir. And there's going to be this drawn out and uncomfortable pause before Claire says, well, I see. I hope that you, Estelle, have a plan for making sure that that experiment does not cause undue damage, especially on the surface. And further, she says, stopping anyone from making any kind of protest ahead of her finishing, that you have a plan for getting it back to him without anyone else seeing that transaction.
Out of character, I want to know, how does Vulcan respond to being referred to as it?
He doesn't like it, but he's not going to say anything.
Yes. I imagine that to be the case, but I also imagine that anybody who hasn't met Vulcan and gotten that lay of his personality all is going to think of him as an it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He is always free to correct anybody he feels comfortable correcting or needs correcting. But
Is his face perfectly passive all the time, or are there
Yeah,
expressions?
he doesn't have. Sometimes his eyes will slightly change hue and stuff, but that's pretty much all that's here to give it away.
No, like eyebrow raises or...
No, sometimes he'll make like sounds and like involuntary sounds, and his eyes might change hue, or the border might change a color. You know, if he gets real mad, then they'll change to red.
yeah. You've all seen Vulcan's eyes go red once so far, and he reacted with definitely what one would call anger after that. The tiger's eye is going to fold her arms over her chest and lay her chin on one of them. And she says, Claire, you know me better than that. Of course I have all of that planned out. I got it in without you knowing, didn't I? Actually, let me amend that, because Estelle would say him. I got him in without you knowing, because she specifically asked that. At this, Claire is going to say, you do a great number of things, at least according to you, without my knowledge. I'm more concerned of what other old wounds this could open. I want to be very careful about that, especially now. And the tiger's eye is going to say, believe me, old friend, I understand, and I am being very careful about it. He will not cause any problems. We have already been making sure to keep very careful notes on how he interacts with others and responds to stressful situations. I assure you that I will have a plan for every eventuality, and if you need it in writing, then I will be able to provide it to you. Claire is going to nod, seeming to, and be taking steadying breaths, like she was about to get very exasperated, and she's reining it in. All right. I'm sorry. That was just a very unexpected hitch right before a rather uncomfortable discussion. Vulcan, welcome to the city of Volinar. I trust that you will respect the people and places around here at least as much as those you travel with do, and if possible, set a better example for them.
He'll nod.
She's going to look back to the tiger's eye and say, is he directly connected to Vendar?
He'll cock his head at that.
Tiger's eye is going to, you're going to see her side-eye you, and she will say, Vendar was responsible for the creation of this creature, yes, but to the best of my understanding of his functionality, he does not have a direct line of communication to his, and she's going to look at you a little bit more fully, squinting as though determining if it's the right word, before looking back and saying to Claire, Father. Do you say anything to that, either confirming or denying its veracity, or do you remain silent?
He will remain silent.
Okay. Tiger's eye is going to seem to take that silence as she's correct in what she said, and she is going to look a little bit more confident after that. And she's gonna, she puts like 2 fingers to her temple, and takes one more calming breath. She goes, okay, all right. I am going to convince myself that this is the least of the issues we need to discuss, and that the matter is closed for now, Estelle. Estelle nods and says, I will take that as a kindness, Claire. Now, on to the business that we are here for. There was, as all parties here are aware, an altercation with the City Watch in the underground, and this is bad for all of us. Claire is going to nod, say, yes. We would like to make sure that this does not happen again. Estelle says, I have great respect for some of the work that some of the City Watch does. But I wish to remind you, Claire, that our agreements say that the jurisdiction of the City Watch ends at the steps leading to the underground, and that if any problems come from the upper city that you want dealt with, that you will contact me or the leader of one of the other gangs so that we can deliver that problem back to you. You do not march your soldiers down here even to catch this murderer. Now, the valor or honor of the fallen notwithstanding.
One thing.
Yep.
Morgan visibly looks up when kind of excited when she heard the words murderer.
Mm-hmm. I want all of you to make a wisdom history test.
Okay, so history.
Yes, well, that's usually governed by intelligence, isn't it?
Oh, it's it.
It is, yes.
Okay, so wisdom.
Wisdom history.
Perfect. Wisdom
But I'm
history.
so much better at intelligence.
I know.
That's really bad for me because that went from a 2 to a 0.
I rolled over. It's a 19.
Wow.
I got a 21.
I also got a 19.
14.
I would have gotten a 22.
All right. Desmond? Did I lose Desmond?
He's muted.
I must have lost Desmond.
I got a 6.
Okay.
Oof.
Twilight.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Spider.
Not muted in Discord.
Spider.
Could be muted on the mic or something.
3.
3. Okay. Those who got an 18 or above, which I think miraculously is all but 2 of you.
18 or above. I got less than that. I got 14.
14. Okay, all but 3 of you. Everybody else got 19s, 20, 21. So, those with 18 and above. You're going to remember that the altercation with the guards did not happen because they were chasing a murderer, as has just been implied by the Tiger's Eye. However, you are going to find that you don't remember why they were in the tunnels, if not for this murderer. Those who got less than an 18 hear no problem with this story. Someone committed murders in the surface city and escaped into the tunnels. The guards were chasing them and got into an altercation with inhabitants of the underground, which included you. Does everyone understand what I've just told them? rather, does anyone not understand what I've just told you? Because it is not entirely clear, so it is understandable for it to be confusing.
What was it again? So,
the Tiger's Eye, speaking to Claire, has implied that the deaths of the City Watch, which you guys caused a few days ago, would have been avoided if Claire had respected the agreements between the Upper City and the Underground, which says that when problems enter the Underground, they become the jurisdiction of the Underground, and the guards should not be chasing murderers into the tunnels. Basically stating that that's what the guards were doing in the tunnels a few days ago, was chasing a murderer when they ran afoul of you and got into a fight.
And those of us who got the 18 or higher know that this is incorrect, but don't know.
But you
what
find you
actually-
don't
or
remember
you have like that
what they
middling
were.
suspicion that it's wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You know that there is something wrong with that story, but you don't remember what the reality of the story was. They were in the Underground. You got into a fight with them. Words were exchanged before the fight, so they were assholes. You felt justified. But you cannot recall why they were in the tunnels in the first place. Those that got the 18 are just fairly certain that they were not chasing a murderer from the surface, as the Tiger's Eye has said. Those who got less than an 18 feel that this is a correct explanation and perfectly fits with how the world functions. The guard are zealous and prone to overstepping their bounds, especially if it gives them a chance to hurt people. They wanted to be the ones to take down this murderer, especially if they gave them an excuse to kill him. Or her. Gender wasn't given. Or they.
I think Reggie is going to look over at Desmin and try and make a mental note to look at his reports. So he wants to. He's focusing on that because he's like, if there's something weird, Desmond would have written it down because he's that kind of guy.
He's that kind of guy.
And he's hoping that that's he trusts his memory a lot, and so not trusting, feeling like there's something wrong about that is concerning to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's hoping that he's gonna remember long enough, because if things are messing with memories, then that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Desmond looks perfectly placid about this. He doesn't seem troubled by the information he's just heard.
It's concerning.
I'm with Sam on this one.
In fact, he's probably just nodding along to whatever to what they're saying about the murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, makes sense.
Oh, hang on, I've got a DM.
So that's what's going through Reggie's mind, and this expression, this look, because it's more meaningful than a regular look.
Sorry, responding to a player DM. Give me a moment. I have responded, player. Sorry. Wait for this response. But to carry on in the meantime. She's going to basically be making all... Oh, there's another player message. Okay, I have responded to that one as well. Sorry. The Tiger's Eye has basically gone on the offensive here and told Claire, with heavy implication, that the altercation that resulted in the deaths of those members of the City Watch could have been avoided if the City Watch, and by extension Claire, had stuck to the agreements that she has with the leaders of the different gangs of the underground. And you can see that Claire is somewhat taken aback by this outburst from somebody who, you know, up through here she has treated like a close friend. But she is going to, she's not going to argue that anything that was said was wrong. You are going to see her kind of lean back in as though she's not going, her body language says she's not going to be cowed here. But she doesn't lean forward so far as to seem like she's attacking. So I'm trying to describe her body language so you can read into it before she speaks, as she says, "Yes, I understand that we skirted some of those agreements, but it was... I believe that you would probably have made a similar choice if so many wrongs had been committed by a person. You would want to ensure that that person was brought to justice." To which the Tiger's Eye says very evenly, "You know that I pursue this justice, this balance of things, as heartily as you, as anyone who serves under Arathis. But I cannot condone this breaking of our agreements, so I have come here with my people so that you can see that we are coming to the table, hands open, and that we can take responsibility for our mistakes, but I do not feel that we were in the wrong here. Your people need to be kept on a tighter leash, Claire. They can't be allowed to just traipse into the tunnels and start giving orders and beating people. Not even to find a murderer. We can do that for you. Remember to rely on us. This is the only way it works." Surprisingly, perhaps, Claire does look chastened. She takes a moment, very clearly absorbing the Tiger's Eye's words, before she says, "I will schedule a meeting with the heads of the gangs so that we can address the terms of our agreement, where mistakes were made, and identify together ways to prevent that happening again." And she spreads her hands before her as though this is the offer that she's hoping that Estelle will take. And the Tiger's Eye seems to consider this for a moment before nodding, a smile not fully returning to her face, her lips curling, but it does not reach her eyes, as she says, "This is agreeable. But until that meeting happens, I think that it is not unacceptable that I request very firmly that all of your dogs stay out of the tunnels. If there is another problem that comes from the surface down here that you need returned to you, you know how to contact us. Don't forget again. Claire is going to nod slowly about this. And before she looks around at the rest of the group and seems to recompose herself, realizing that there is an audience to this down-dressing, before she says, "That was a more difficult conversation than I anticipated. But I will make sure that the complaints on both sides are addressed." She's going to take up a stronger stance once again, and she's going to say, not threateningly, but leaving the implication in the air, we need to have an explanation for the families, and there has to be some kind of visible action taken about that. And the Tiger's Eye is going to lean to one side, adopting a much more casual posture as she very blatantly is showing through her body language that she's putting some thought into these words. And she says, "I think if you are looking for a scapegoat, we can discuss that with the other gang leaders. This is not the place." She pauses before saying, "These are not the people. The Syndicate will not be the scapegoat." Claire nods. Says, "Very well." I feel that we will have a great many topics to address at this meeting, but I appreciate, Estelle, that you came to have this discussion with me. She looks around at the group before saying, somewhat strained, one-on-one. I think it will make it much more expedient in coming to a compromise when we meet with the others. I suggest you help to get them on the same page before we meet. And Estelle takes this as the suggestion that it is. She nods and says, "I think that is a very good idea. I will make sure to do that." Claire is going to say, "I have nothing further to discuss. Do you?" To which Tiger's Eye is going to look around at the group. Does anybody have anything they wish to say or ask of Claire Evenhand?
Only if she's read my book and if she wants a copy. If she hasn't.
Yeah, Morgan burst out a small laugh.
She looks very surprised by that. She says,
Yep.
"I can't say that I you have a copy on you, Twilight?
Never hurts to be prepared. Just bring one out.
Desmond just shakes his head and sighs.
Al would as well.
Just keeps a stack with her wherever she goes.
Yeah. Is anyone's passive perception 16 or higher?
Yes.
Reggie's is 16.
Yes.
No.
Desmond. Alright, so...
Yes.
Yes, Al. Those 4 of you who have 16 or more in passive perception, you are going to notice as she looks very surprised, almost troubled by this, sudden offering of the book. I imagine you drew it out. You said you drew it out and offer it to her?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Those of you with 16 or higher are going to see the briefest flash to her irises. They seem to change color in the light momentarily before returning to their sedate blue. I need you to tell me, Twilight, if this book is in any way magical.
It is not. It is just a book.
Okay,
For meeting fancy people, gotta do some networking if I can.
I see. What is the name on the book? Do you author it under the name Twilight?
Yes, Twilight is more or less a pen name, and you're supposed to keep going by at this point.
Okay. She's... After this moment that 4 of the party notice her eyes change, she hesitates in taking the book from you. She's going to finally reach out and accept the book from your hand. She says, I'll give it a read, and if I have opinions, I'll pass them through Estelle?
Oh, no, much appreciated.
And she nods. Estelle seems to roll her head on her shoulders before she says, yeah, I'll tell her what you said about it.
I would like to make an insight check.
Okay. You are...
I want to know how honest she's being about that.
Whom?
I can tell you.
About which?
Claire about, like, an intent to read it and, like, pass on anything.
Go for
That
it.
is what is my insight? Insight is... that is a 21, because I guess that's my number today. Different numbers on the dice.
Intriguing.
Interesting.
As far as you can tell, she seems to really mean that she will make an attempt to do this. She is not... This isn't lip service. You feel like the gears you see turning behind her eyes, give away that she may not have the time or the bandwidth to do it, reasonably soon. But she is not lying that she would read it and would pass on any opinions of it she has to Estelle.
Reggie's opinion of her has increased. Reggie doesn't like her.
What?
But this I know, shocking. But
The leader of the cops?
He is now slightly better than most cops. Like, maybe she's on Nigel's level.
I'm still surprised that
Nigel
Nigel didn't lose points
Right?
because he escaped.
Yeah.
No, Reggie expected him to do that. Reggie expected that Nigel would hide not in the room right next to Reggie. So the fact that he went to hide there, like, that was gutsy. Like, Reggie expected him to just book it from the get-go, which was the smart thing to do.
He worried that if he booked it from the get-go, you might attack him.
That's fair.
He needs to appear to be complying. Otherwise, how would he get back to his wife?
Are they married now?
That was his girlfriend.
I think it was his girlfriend.
Hold on.
But maybe the wedding was, like, this past week.
Oh, where did I put her? There she is.
He was about to get married. He had to make it for the wedding.
We had mother and father.
Reggie sees the announcement of the wedding in the newspaper.
In the paper.
Aw.
Nigel Toombs married.
Oh, those two crazy kids made it.
Yeah, I guess we only decided on parents. We hadn't given him a wife or girlfriend or whatever. I remembered wrong.
I thought that there was a partner. I don't remember if they were married.
Well, we'll have to... I don't have her here, so we'll have to add her in later.
For those who don't know, the book is about the Shadowlands, so this might actually be of some interest to someone who, practices magic.
Mm-hmm.
It was Susan.
Wait, I do have Susan
and they're
list.
dating, so... Because I said Susan's going to be sad, poor thing. You should have known not to date a cop.
Oh, no.
Very quick
Susan, the
engagement.
Susan in my list is the Susan that Elisa gave me, the barmaid.
Yeah, I guess there's multiple. There's a common name.
No, it's fine that there's multiple. It's just, I was like, oh yeah, Susan is in this list. Oh no, wrong Susan. Wrong Susan. Alright, I'll add her in here. And they're dating.
Yeah, I was like, for a moment there, I was like, wait, Susan is what?
Dating a cop.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't think Morgan would be very happy about that.
I would be shocked, but
Alright. Susan fancy last name is dating Nigel Toombs.
Susan fancy last name.
Yep.
We're
Related
bringing
to
it
the-
back.
Yeah, related to the
You're
gateway
related?
fancy last names. Or the Ebonheart fancy last names. Ebongard. Lion. Dragon's Hearth. Good God. Getting my own city names. Okay. So. At this point, she is going to seem to dismiss you and her old friend. She somewhat surprisingly seems to have given a lot of ground in this discussion, but I would think that especially our Arathian cleric is going to understand that even when a person's pride demands that they have a strong face in a situation, sometimes maintaining order in society requires playing the weaker hand.
Indeed.
And at this point, she's going to say, "It was very good to meet your star team. And as I said at the beginning of this conversation, I do hope that we do not have cause to meet again. But should it be necessary, I suppose I can at least tell you that you've made a good impression on me. Reflects well on the Syndicate." And she's going to give a deep curtsy again, flaring the edges of the dress out wide, and then turn quickly and begin heading away down a different path than the one she entered from. And in this flourish, she's going to move a lot of air in this otherwise still and stagnant place. I need perception checks from everybody.
God damn it!
Oh. Well, Morgan is she dropped her axe and is currently like bowing down to pick it up because I got a 1.
I don't know. I do not know why Alex's exasperated "goddammit" got me, but it did. And here we are.
Well, I mean, technically it would be a 3 because you can't like fumble with skill checks. So technically it would be a 3, but like it's 1 on the die.
Indeed. Alex is just always getting betrayed by his dice.
Yeah, that's just
yeah.
how it goes.
The history check, I rolled 1 pixel die. It rolled a 4, and I have +2 in history. The second pixel die, for this one, I rolled a 4, and I have +6. So I got a 10 on this check. So I'm going to assume that Desmin is still just, like, kind of giddy that Claire talked to him.
That Claire talked to him. That's totally fair. Alright, I need to... Okay, so, Vulcan, what'd you get?
Vulcan got a 13.
13. Alright. Twilight, what'd you get?
My passive is a 17.
Okay. Spider, what'd you get?
This is perception.
Yep.
24.
Okay. Fucking Al, what'd you get?
1 moment. Going into my calculator history. Oh, well. That was a 23.
23. Okay. And Reggie, what'd you get?
22.
22. Okay. Give me a moment, because, of course, now that I'm in streamer mode, I can't find the freaking DM that I need to send. Oh, why am I bothering? I'll do it this way. I am going to send a message to one player. All right, so, for our low rollers, you know that the air in this place is stagnant. You become aware that it's also extremely still. So her moving this big swishy dress around is causing the movement of air around here, which gives you a little bit better sniff of how stale it is in here. It also really kind of messes with your head a little bit as the pressure changes due to this sudden movement in an otherwise enclosed space. For the people who hit 12 and above, you are going to note that the air's staleness is combated by the fresh linen smell of the dress that she's wearing. Whatever has been done to it, it was very recently cleaned and probably prepped for this meeting. Those with 18 and above are going to note some fruity aromas mixed in with the smells that are pushed around the room when she flourishes the way she does. And also a couple of savory smells. Like you feel you can almost smell the very extravagant and elegant lunch that she had that made her late to this meeting. She's still wearing those aromas a little bit, and now she has hit you with them, and you find you are hungry. This wasn't a hard mission, but it was a emotional one. And you find that you wish you could just sit down and eat, and these smells are not helping.
I am looking everywhere now, based on what you told me.
You don't, Spider, you don't see anything amiss. You don't see anything out of place. You don't see any source.
I look at her.
It does fade as she does. It's inconclusive, but it's evident.
Okay.
It's at least something to ponder on, worry on, find a confidant to discuss with. I don't know how you handle these things. Is there anything, any other
Today was a
actions?
doozy.
Today was a doozy. Are there any other actions you'd like to take, given this information, Spider?
Right, so I see where she was standing when she was talking to Tiger's Eye. Where did she come in from? Did she just... Is there a specific spot?
She entered from this doorway over here. And she left through this one over here.
I don't see what you're marking.
You are not in the program. So, are you on the stream?
Hold on, let me just...
She left through a different door.
My network went down. Hailspire is very finicky about, like, network dropping.
I will say that, like, she flourished. You know, you all got hit with this, the stale air of the place being pushed at you by the flapping of her dress. Some of you with higher perceptions noted the hints of the cleanliness of the fabric. Others with even higher perceptions noted the smells of fruits and potentially meats or other savory things, which were probably her lunch. And then she went out. You heard her footsteps fade away, and then after a few moments, you heard that telltale warble and whoosh of the magic once again being cast and removing her from the area. Just to be clear on what has happened. And I will say that as she leaves, all of those smells, less the staleness, go with her. There aren't any strong sources of them here. Everybody who smelled the cleanliness of fabric or the smells of foods is fairly confident that it was coming off of her, and it went when she did. Alright. Are we good on that, or did, you still needed to ask questions, Jeb?
I wanted to just quickly examine the area.
Okay.
Where she came in from and left. Just that path.
Yeah.
I'm a bit distracted. I'm trying to shut down Tailspire. And it's
Okay,
just
that's fine.
hanging.
So, you know, you're going to separate yourself from the group. You're going to check the doorway to the little area that she came in from, and then you're going to follow the path that she did to the doorway that she left from.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to earn you a very quizzical look from the Tiger's Eye, who, especially when you start to go down the path that she left by, she's going to speak out. But checking the place she came in from, there isn't, there's only, like, the barest hints of these smells there, like, just whatever lingers after she's recently passed. There's no source of it there. It definitely came off her, and as you follow the path that she followed out of the room, you do find that it strengthens as you get closer to, where she had been most recently, before the tiger's eye is going to say, "May I ask what it is you are doing, Spider?"
I just caught an unusual scent.
A concerning unusual scent?
Out of place.
All right. If there is more to discuss later, then you can find me. But I only smell her lunch, which now I am thinking it may be time for my own lunch. Yeah, so following...
And I forgot Spider has an accent.
It's true, Spider does have an accent. German, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you follow where she went, and you do find that the smell of her lunch, the fruits, the soaps, whatnot, is strongest where she just was. You also find in that place that there is a stone on the ground that has draconic inscription on it that you imagine is the source of the magical noise that you heard that clearly transported her into, or in this case, out of the room. But she is very much gone.
Okay.
You return to the group having found nothing conclusive, other than the smell was definitely coming from her. Anyone else have anything before the Tiger's Eye takes you out of this place?
Got nothing.
Well, you successfully gave a book to Claire. And who knows, maybe before long you'll have a reading fan.
I mean, she was into novels.
She really
Like, to be fair, like, she's one of the best persons to have given a book to.
Yeah, if she actually
Don't
dared to
say.
read it. She seemed extremely careful.
Look,
it's
if I can get some
literally
good
just a book.
publicity from the top, it'll get popular.
Yeah, I mean, tunnelers can also have hobbies.
Now I actually have to write it, though.
So, the Tiger's Eye is going to take you to one of the other teleportation stones. She's going to do something to it. It seems to recognize whatever she did, and it's going to begin to glow, and she's going to step onto it and disappear. It's going to continue glowing after she's gone, and you all know to follow her through it. It puts you back more or less where you had left the lower tunnels earlier, and you are able to begin your journey back to the headquarters, as the Tiger's Eye has not given you any other orders, has not told you to do anything other than escort her back. You do note that she is quiet. She does not address anyone. She seems very pensive as you walk back. It does not take any kind of good perception test to see that at one point on your way back, you catch a glimpse of Growthus, from the tunnel rats, eyeing you around, from down one of the side paths, like he's contemplating doing something. But you do note, as he's eyeing your group and seeming to determine if this is a chance he wants to take, especially after the last ass-kicking you gave him, he seems to spot specifically the Tiger's Eye and immediately, gets very stiff. And, the eye of his that you can see around the stone corner is gone wide, and he does not move.
Poor man.
if I see him, I'm gonna wink and do like a little ta-ta wave.
I'm just gonna stick out my tongue at him.
His eye is like locked onto Estelle as you go all past, and he barely seems to register any of the rest of you, regardless of your goading. And, like, I imagine because of the threat he tends to pose to you, you know, minor though it may often be, he's still somebody who wants to do harm to you. You keep an eye on him. You find that, like, it's not until you are long past, and specifically the tiger's eye is out of sight, like, around the next corner, that he even, like, his shoulders suddenly slump, like you just let out a breath he was holding. You see that for as much of an asshole as he is, he respects the rules. It's okay to fuck with you. It's not okay to fuck with the leaders. So we shall return. We shall return. I don't know why that's there. I pulled her token. Should have moved. Players. Summoned. This is odd. It's definitely the tiger's eye. Anyway. Oh, Estelle. Come here, you. Back to your office, where it's safe. You don't have to deal with walls, ceilings, floors. Let's see here. I need to get the rest of the players' tokens, which is always super fun. Gotta click their picture, not their name. Again. Reggie. Spider. Susan. Twilight. Vulcan. Alright, so... she's going to be uncharacteristically quiet all the way through the tunnels, all the way through the headquarters, all the way back to her office, before rounding the desk, taking a breath in as she looks over the contents of the desk, and then slumping into her big cushiony chair as both she and the chair let out a long hiss of trapped air. You will see that Winston is on the desk. He still is wearing his eye patch. He seems resigned to it at this point. There are a bunch of papers around him askew, as though he did spend some time trying to get it off. His tail simply flicks uncomfortably as he watches you with his good eye as you form up in front of the desk as you did this morning. After a few moments of collecting herself, the tiger's eye is going to look up at all of you and say, "Good job. Very well done today. Following orders, not getting into any more fights with the guards. I am sorry that you did not have a more active role, but I think you can understand why this was a show more than tell."
So, you two go way back, yeah?
We go back a little ways. I have been operating in the city for far longer than she has been the leader, so I was... let me simply say that I was one of the first of the gangs down here to arrange a meeting with her, to let her know how things work, so that we could continue forward into the future with as little friction as possible. She rattles this off so, like, cleanly and quickly that you know that this is a rehearsed line that she probably has said to Claire many times over the years.
Can't help but feel a little jealous of your own first name basis.
Yes,
But the way they were
well.
talking, it sounded a lot closer than that. At least once upon a time.
Claire is a good woman, but let me quash your rumors now before they start. She and I have never shared a bed.
Damn it. It's been fun to spread those.
Al would look puzzled at the fact that she mentions that.
I would be lying if I did not remind you that these rumors have been out there. All unfounded. I am certain you've heard the rumors of me being a member of the Black Rose. Well, I like that one being out there, so I won't tell you if it's true or not. It can often be useful when people think you have more information than you do. But it is most useful when you have more information than they think you have. In any event, I would like for this to be the start of less conflict with the City Watch. Not because we like them, she says, eyeing Reggie. But because right now we cannot afford to rock this boat. There's too much going on in the city. Too many things that we do not know. I want all of you to keep an ear, both ears, to the ground. Something's coming, we need to know about it. I have many sources of information out there, but I have to assume that things can get past them. So I need all of you to do just what you always do. Bring me news, and make sure that you verified it as hard as you can before you tell me. Understood?
So, now, is there really a murderer afoot down here?
Yes, well, we haven't found him yet, but I think it will make us look very good to Claire if we should stumble upon him and be able to truss him up and deliver him all wrapped like a nice little package.
I wouldn't mind getting to beat up someone without a consequence.
As long as he's alive at the end, they have this thing about being able to administer justice to living criminals.
Do we have more information? Like,
Not at this
who he
time.
killed, who he is?
Surprisingly vague. There were a few deaths, missing persons on the surface. It spanned months, maybe as much as a year, but they couldn't verify that they were all for the same source. And eventually, a person moving very suspiciously was targeted by the guards and fled into the tunnels. That is when Claire saw fit to send detachments of the City Watch into the tunnels to try and catch this man as he moved about down here, thinking that he would be going to the different gangs seeking shelter. But he never came to us. Not at least as far as I have seen. No new names, no new faces have come up to my door. And it was while they were running their patrols up there that your little incident took place. But I choose to look at the bright side of this. Today's conversation was a much-needed reminder to Claire that we may be below them, but they wouldn't remain upright if it weren't for the strong foundation that is us. And it seems that we should get a little breathing room. So that'll probably make you happy. You just have to worry about the tunnel rats. And the other rats. The mind control rats. Alright, your next assignment is until tomorrow. Good job today. This one didn't pay anything to us, but please take my gratitude in drinks. You can use the mess for free for the next 3 days. I will inform Susan. And medical. I will waive the fee on medical. I can't afford to pay you anything else. This is a commission-based gang, unfortunately. But, as I said, you have my gratitude and my respect for continuing to represent the Syndicate as I see her, and being exemplars of what we can do for this city when we're pointed in the right direction. Now, if there is nothing further, the rest of the night is yours. Is there anything further? Oh.
No, I was going to just say I'll be off then if that's the case.
So Twilight leaves.
Yes.
Okay.
There will be numerous messages later, but it's not important right now.
Of course. Let me make sure that this message isn't from a player. It is not. Okay. Well, hopefully this has helped to flesh out the world a little bit and given everybody some interesting information to act on in future sessions.
Does Reggie remember well enough his desire to see Desmond's report?
Roll history.
This time. That is a nat 20, which is a
Yes.
29. 28. So when they're both out the door, because he doesn't want to say this in front of the Tiger's Eye until he has more evidence of anything, he's going to be like, Desmond, do you mind if I take a look at the report that you made about everything a couple of days ago?
Just
And any of the other documents that you might have
when he asks Desmond about this, like, Desmond's face is just going to like light up. He's like, because he's like,
one ever wants
yes,
to see
my friend is
My
interested
turn to
in
shine."
reports now too. Yes, and he,
Desmond's just like, this
quickly.
is the best day ever.
My gosh,
No one's ever asked to see a report before.
Arathis, thank you so much. He's gonna like reach into his bag hurriedly and just like pull like ask for like every report that that he can think of for Reggie.
I mean specifically, he says however many days ago it was.
It was 3.
Okay, the one from 3 days ago. You know.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. And then you see like several pages fall back down into the ledger.
I'll take a look at some of the other ones when there's a bit more time, but these ones I want to look at first. That is a nat 20 on my deception.
He really wants to read his reports later.
And now I'm gonna roll a persuasion against myself. That's a 9 on die. I think Reggie is gonna read some of the ones that he said because he does feel a little bit bad about like how smoothly that came out and how much Desmond brightened up.
Can't crush all his dreams, just some of them.
But Desmond does pull out the specific reports that you asked for. And hands it to you.
So is there anything in the report about the cause of the altercation?
Yes.
And the guards having been down there and why and all of that?
Yeah, there is. Are you also going over the report with him at this time, Desmond?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay. This report is wrong. You did this wrong. You don't know how you could have gotten these details wrong, but this report is wrong.
What? I didn't write all this. I could have sworn I didn't write all this.
It seems to indicate that, like, these guards were down here guarding a missing statue and started a fight with Morrigan. But you distinctly remember them chasing after a guy and then accusing you of helping the murderer escape.
There was no statue.
No, that was the problem. There wasn't a statue.
You don't know what statue this is referring to.
Spider's walking with Reggie.
So you're also now going over these reports with them?
Yeah, so I think Reggie, as soon as we got out of the room, Reggie starts asking about this. I think he was expecting to be able to get to another room before papers started flying, but that was clearly not the case.
You assume incorrectly. Yeah,
I would keep her ear open, listening to them talk, but wouldn't actively. Yeah.
Okay.
But Reggie, there was no altercation with them between us about the statue or anything. It was they thought we were helping someone escape.
No, see the thing about the murder, that was a clever cover story. Something feels off about it. And with that feeling off, this I think might make sense. So you said that there isn't a statue. Was that you saying Reggie doesn't remember a statue to go with this, or that was Desmond doesn't remember anything about that?
Both of you are reading this report, and both of you are questioning what statue could this be referring to.
Is there anything in the report that would point to a location other than saying that there was a statue? Or
that's a question for Desmond. How thorough are you about locations and things like that when you're writing your reports?
This is Desmond writing a report.
You know the exact intersection. There has never been a statue there. It's a place where open commerce is done. People gather to exchange goods. It's like I said before, it's like where the caravans of merchants will set up their temporary shops to sell their wares before, that they just got off the boats and things. It's a big wide thoroughfare. It's where the two main roads of the underground cross. But there's a plinth there that commemorates the construction of this Pont d'Etoile like place, but that's it. There was never a statue. It's just a flat stone with a plaque on it.
Why would I write something about a statue? And I know that I wrote this, though, because it's my handwriting.
Why don't we go visit the spot?
I think that's a good idea.
All right. Are you gonna gather? Is everybody gonna go on this little road trip? We've only got a few minutes left here, but so we can see.
I do think that Reggie would try and get everyone to go and say that
I would join.
There's something weird about Desmin's report, which Reggie hopes that like that kind of comment is concerning enough to other people, because it would be very concerning to Reggie if somebody came up to him and said Desmin's report is wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we've got at least enough time to do this theater of the mind style. So, yeah, you're going to gather as much of the party as will go with you and head back out into the tunnels. It's, mid-afternoon-ish. You've got a lot of the day left to you since you mostly just walked the boss to a quite distant spot, but then it was, an hour-long conversation-ish, and then you came back. So that was, the whole thing only took like 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 tops. So.
As far as people that are going, you wouldn't have been able to find Twilight to ask her to go. So unless you have some way to message her without actually physically finding her, then she won't be going.
I think Reggie would have knocked on her door if he hadn't found her in the immediate vicinity. But if there is no response or anything, then I think that he would go without her.
No response will be found.
Okay. Is Twilight the only one that we're missing?
Would Vulcan go?
Vulcan would go if he was asked to go.
Okay. And would Morrigan go?
Kind of phased out. What go where?
They want to. Reggie's going around and asking people to go visit the place where you had the altercation with the guards because he needs to check something.
And he says that there's something weird about Desmin's report.
Okay, yeah. I'll follow along.
Okay. And Al, you said you were listening. Are you going to keep following them?
Yeah, she'd follow.
Okay. Then the 6 of you, no Twilight, are going to head back out into the tunnels and make your way to the market center where the incident with the guards occurred. You're going to get there. It is, like I said, mid-afternoon, mid to late afternoon. The market is bustling. Lots of people meeting, greeting, talking, laughing, eating, and of course, exchanging money for things. There's new stalls today, just because this is one of the 3 days a week that new things tend to show up on the docks, and stuff gets added to the merchants' collections to sell. So it's a very popular day for people to be there. So this is a normal amount of busy. There's a lot of people there. And you go there, you walk around, you kind of take it in. Nothing seems amiss. You get to the plinth. It is a white marble block in a triangle. And there is the plaque that you remember on it that says, Market Point, established, about 25 years ago. And then the quotation that just says, "Let this be the stone that joins the city." No mention of a statue or anything else.
See, there isn't a statue here.
Looks exactly as you remember it.
I think Reggie goes to find one of his, basically the merchant who's been here the longest.
Okay.
Who is probably somebody that Reggie is relatively close with.
Alright, let me just get over here. Where's my...
Al would also knit her brows at Desmond saying that there was no statue and look perturbed.
I'm just going to just have a quick examination of the plinth.
You're gonna have a quick examination of the stone.
Yeah. It's just
Alright.
like a stone.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, it's like a very nicely cut piece of marble. It's flat across the top. It has 3 sides. You know, it's 4, 5-sided object if you assume that what's against the ground is flat. But it's triangular. You know, when you look down upon it, and it's flat on top, so that one could sit upon it. Though you know that it's gauche to do something like that. It's seen as a city landmark. People don't want you sitting on it. And it's got the plaque that says when it was placed there about 25 years ago, and it marks this spot as, like I said, market point, the crossroads of the city, and then the quotation, let this stone be that which connects the city, I think I said.
It's not scuffed in any unusual ways. I'd be like, that doesn't add up.
No, there's no indication that this thing has been changed since it was put here. Sorry, just noting this down. This person will be Drow. Why not? This means this person could be here as many as the last 10 years. How are you? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, you are going to find a stall owner whom you know, a drow woman named Elsa Varen. She, as soon as you walk up, is going to say, Reggie, can I interest you in today's catch?
Always.
She's going to immediately slap a large perch down on the counter and begin cutting it up. Very fresh.
Reggie's rubbing his hands together, and it's like, oh, Joy's gonna be so thrilled. So while it's getting pretty, Reggie's just like, I hope the business has been doing well and all that. I know there was some kind of ruckus the other day, but things are looking nice and lively here, and it always makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. She's going to smile as she focuses on the perch that she's filleting. As she says, well, there was a bit of disturbance the last few days, but things seem to have evened out. Hopefully we can get back to fully normal very soon, but today is a good sign, Reggie. You weren't mixed up in all that business with the criminal, were you?
No.
Oh, good. I'd hate to hear that you or any of your friends got hurt. We do love your business.
We're all doing great.
Great.
And I'm glad to see that everything is doing well for you.
It's much better now. There were still a couple of guards, city watch types, milling about yesterday, the day before, but they seem to have gotten new orders. They're not here anymore, which means everybody's much more at ease.
Good riddance.
Oh, yes. I can't tell you the number of times they tend to make things worse than better. Though, I do hope
it's the only thing they're good at.
Now and then, they haul off someone who's a real troublemaker, but not frequently enough for my tastes. No. Usually it's just someone who looks like a troublemaker, she says, her red eyes finding yours and becoming very serious. And you can imagine how many of us look like troublemakers.
think of a good way to broach the subject of. Don't you think that spot would be nice for a statue, or something to that effect? And I don't know.
Break into it just by saying, I've been thinking about interior design and architecture lately. Let me pitch some ideas at you. But I'm going to have to ask you to come to your question quickly, or else we'll save it for next time. Because we are 5 minutes over.
I think, amongst other small talk, Reggie will try and. I think I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, go for it.
Reggie's better at that kind of. That's an 18 on die. Performance. Makes it a 26.
Alrighty. Yeah, she's definitely playing along, getting into talking to you. She always enjoys hearing your stories and thoughts while she's filleting this fish.
So Reggie's trying to gauge what she thinks about the idea of a statue here, and possibly it's not. He doesn't want to say anything about one having existed because he doesn't want to
Yeah.
It seemed so maybe when I was a kid, I used to always want to climb on that, and my grandma, she kept saying something about the space being there for some big stone guy or something like that.
Yeah, no, I got the vibe. She's going to, as she's filleting this fish and smiling along with this, she is going to finally kind of set the knife to the side and look over at the plinth, and it's kind of sighing. She says, maybe it's just because I come from below, where we've got a lot of vertical structures, stalactites and stalagmites and the like, but I've always felt like it could use something of that shape there myself. But, you say something like a statue, and I say, who would it be of? We seem to trade rulers as frequently as some elves trade socks, so if you make it Claire now, who's it going to be, 10 years from now when she's gone?
It shouldn't be somebody from up top. That's not the.
Well, but who down here?
I bet that would look good as a statue.
I think you would.
I can see it.
Great as a statue. I would love to visit a statue of you, Morrigan.
That's 2 votes.
But again, then, who's going to pay for it? What's the plaque going to say? Because they look really good in stone?
That would be good.
That'd be a good plaque. I think people would get a kick out of it, honestly.
Would be the whiplash from the elf sock comment to this. She is utterly puzzled. She looks a little bit concerned that we went from A to W in 30 seconds.
And she shrugs her shoulders as she says that and says, maybe a tree, but it wouldn't grow, right? What about a fountain? A nice obelisk, Drow love obelisks.
That could work too.
An obelisk that shoots water. The children would love it.
I mean, on a hot day.
She's going to kind of incline her head towards you. On a hot day down here. The benefit of living underground is that you barely have to deal with the weather up there.
It's true.
Stone is harder to convince that temperatures should change. But I'll take your meaning, Reggie. On a hot day, water is very refreshing. But no, unfortunately, no one has seen fit to give us our vertical spectacle, if you will.
Maybe they will one day.
A thought seems to cross her mind as her expression shifts slightly, and she very quickly, like, refocuses on the fish. He goes, Maybe someday. But definitely, as she's wrapping the perch up in paper for you, don't let them take any suggestions from this old lady. I'd make a big mockery of it. Not against the city, of course, just because I think anything should have some fun incorporated into its design.
Everything important needs a bit of levity.
I agree. Well, if there's no other news from the tunnels, Reggie, it's always a pleasure to see you. I hope you enjoy the perch.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure she's heard that joke, so please don't tell her I made it.
She gets a kick out of it every time.
I'm certain she tells you that.
And like Reggie's like laughing, and then like a very, very like exaggerated like, wait a minute.
A good day to you all. Unless I can interest more of you in some fish.
It's the best you'll find in the city.
That's my line, but it's true.
Alright, get me one.
I've got...
Marvia hears the voice of Morgan asking for red herring.
Hey.
Our herring doesn't come in red. She's going to begin filleting a trout for you. What were you saying, Morgan?
I just said hey.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. No red herrings here. All right. Yeah, so she doesn't have any information. You definitely baited that lead, and she acts like she knows as much as, you do, which is there hasn't been a statue there. It might be nice if there was one, but certainly this is exactly how she expects the place to look.
Reggie is more confused now.
But I will say, like, the more that you talk to other people and they tell you this all seems right, the more you feel, like, initially concerned, but it slowly turns into comfort. You're corroborating these stories, and you're just finding, okay, I must have just made a mistake.
But why was Desmond's report so wrong? That's not...
You catch him editing it. While he's waiting for his fish fillet. You have to correct your report, Desmond. You feel very strongly.
Desmond's not correcting it just yet.
Oh.
he wants to do one thing.
Okay. Is that one thing something I can do? Like, we're 13 minutes over now. I don't want to hurt our European friends.
If I can quickly use Dispel Magic to see if there's anything.
Yeah, you can cast Dispel Magic on it. I assume this is...
I was gonna cast Dispel Magic on myself.
Okay. You can
in the
guess.
hopes that maybe if it's something
Some
that
kind of
is,
enchantment.
like some magic enchantment on like the city, apparently, that I can break out of it.
I see, I see. All right.
I'm using my inspiration.
Okay.
That was pretty bad. That was better. I don't think it's that great though. Let's see. What is? Sorry, let me look at my notes. Make sure that I correct number. Do I just read off whatever's on the die?
So with Dispel
Plus your
Magic, you
wisdom
add
modifier?
you add your spellcasting modifier, and that's it. It's the spellcasting modifier, just the modifier. So
Yeah,
3
no
or whatever.
proficiency.
Okay.
No proficiency.
So that is 14.
Right. So that has to be 10 plus the spell's level. So that would successfully dispel up to a 4th level spell. So if this was caused by a 4th level spell, it would dispel it, or lower. You feel the tingle of the magic flow over you, but nothing about your opinion of the world or how it's arranged changes. But you do feel more
Looks like I have
strongly
to
now that
change
you
the
need
report.
to edit that report to be correct.
Yes.
As we're
Reggie,
starting to. Go ahead.
I don't know if you still have the report. He's gonna be like, "Can I have the report back? I need to make sure that I correct."
Are you gonna update it, or are you
That's
gonna make a new
possible.
version of it, and the old version is gonna be accessible because you want to make sure that all iterations of it are around?
Oh my god, that's a beautiful idea, Reggie.
Why would I want to keep incorrect records? You feel
It's
the
still a record.
Because it's an important record. It was
It's
wrong, and
still-
people
it's
need to
still a
understand why
record.
it was wrong. That it was wrong.
motherfucking lawyers. All right.
No, Desmin completely agrees with this because in a sense, it is still another record in and of itself. A record of being wrong.
A record of being wrong. Okay. All right. All right.
At the bare minimum, it's a record of his first time being wrong.
All right. Given that we are 15 minutes over, I'm going to insist that we pick it back up with this scene next session. So we can continue
Sounds
this
good to me.
conversation. Just because I do not want to impose further upon our European friends who need the earlier end time. And I am very much enjoying the scene. I am glad that people are chasing these leads around, but we gotta call it. So, thank you all for being here. I hope that this was an enjoyable session. I know that there was slightly less roleplay opportunity because there was the conversation between two NPCs, which is never ideal, but it was a thing that needed to happen, so I hope that I was still able to give you guys opportunities to ask questions and interject and at least learn things about your environment, and that we will meet again next time, picking it up here to find out what will become of this report. Next time on Desmond's Creek. Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Hi, stream.
Bye bye.
Bye.